Welcome to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream movie show. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome back to our movie show. It's that time of the week where we trawl the bottom of the Netflix stream as we hunt for a hidden gem of a movie.
It's what we do. It's what we do best. And we've trawled all the way to Norway this week.
We have.
I'm going to watch a Norwegian film. First Norwegian film? We've been to Scandinavia.
Yeah, we've done Sweden. We've done Finland.
I feel like we've done Denmark.
Yes, we've done Denmark.
Is this our first foray into Norway?
Possibly.
Where was the decline? That was Scandinavian, wasn't it?
Yes.
Maybe our second Norwegian trip this season.
Could be.
Who knows? We, if anything, don't remember anything about this show. Yeah, because this week we're watching a movie called Blasted. Blasted is from 2022. Only came out last year. It's a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 54 minutes. Currently rated at 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb and is a Netflix original. 4.8.
Feels on the low side when I think about movies that have had a similar rating.
Agreed. I'd agree with that. And
according to IMDb.
1 hour and 54 makes it one of the longest movies we've done in a very long time. Yeah.
Well, I'll start on a positive. I didn't feel the length for this movie at all.
You've said that before.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I did either. And I'm notoriously against longer movies.
Yeah.
But no, I don't feel like I was never bored.
No.
So that's maybe a positive for this movie from the off.
Good start.
This movie stars a guy called Axel Boyum.
What a name.
He plays Sebastian. He is the youngest person ever to win a Best Actor Emmy in Norway. Norwegian Emmy.
Norwemmy.
Norwemmy. He's the youngest person ever to win a Norwemmy for Best Actor.
How old was he?
Don't know.
Okay.
Fredrik Skogsrud is also in this movie.
Excellent name.
He plays Mikkel. On his IMDb trivia, it just says Los Angeles.
Brilliant.
Doesn't say anything else. Just says Los Angeles.
Fantastic.
That's his trivia. And also Andre Sorum plays Casper.
Okay.
Written by Emmanuel Nordrum and directed by Martin Sofiedal. Martin Sofiedal has a thank you credit at the end of this movie.
Okay.
In the credits. And also directed this movie.
Oh, so he thanked himself.
I think he's thanking himself for
Brilliant.
making this movie.
More directors should do that.
The ego of that is brilliant, isn't it?
Pat on the back. I did this. I made this. I'm not getting my name in there an extra time.
Yeah, I'm brilliant.
Yeah.
I am great.
I'm all for it.
There's another director who should have had a thank you credit in this movie, but didn't. But we'll come to that as we go on. Do you have a one-word review of Blasted?
Scandinavian.
That is brilliant. Well done. I'm giving you a round of applause. That might be the best one you've ever done. One-word review you've ever done. I'm proud of you for that one. Because it's the Scandinavian movie about aliens.
Yeah.
Where does this movie start, Nick?
We see a man.
We do.
And he gets absorbed by an alien light.
He does.
Whilst he's paintballing.
He does indeed. That happens.
That's where we start.
That is exactly where we start. He's also running with a paintball gun.
Yeah.
And then there's some words come up on the screen. Normally I'd write them down, but I didn't. It basically says, this is a normal village.
The village of Hestalen.
Yes. Until lights started appearing into the sky. Then there's loads of like shaky UFO footage.
Yeah. It's basically saying this town has a reputation as a place you can go and see
this is a hotspot for
alien lights.
Yeah, this is a hotspot for alien UFO sightings. Scientists everywhere want to study this village. That's how these things start. And then we cut to basically what is the start of the movie, where two female people. That's an unusual way to describe ladies, isn't it? Two girls are doing an interview. One's a reporter, one's a scientist. Well, she's not really a reporter. She's more of a YouTuber, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Like a vlogger. She's talking to this scientist, and they are talking about these different sightings and things that happen in this village. And the scientist is obviously being very sciencey. She's trying to come up with rational explanations of what this is. And they eventually go into a cave.
Yeah.
And when they get into the cave, they find a secret door.
Tunnels.
Goop. Huge room.
Yeah.
With a pedestal in the middle, some machinery. There's green goop everywhere. And
then the machinery turns on and it goes
she touches it with her finger and it turns
goes like all electrical. And
good word. You're on fire today.
And it blasts this scientist lady.
Yeah, she gets blasted.
Yeah.
The name of the movie. A lot of people get blasted in this movie.
And she's kind of now got glowy eyes.
Her eyes go glowy green.
And
she attacks this YouTuber. She turns on her.
I didn't really understand why we essentially got the same prologue twice, just with different
people.
characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bit weird, I thought. Bit odd.
Bit strange.
Yeah. Both were fine.
Both were fine. This
odd.
one's more necessary than the other one, probably. Then he cuts straight into the title card from there. And we're now in a city. I guess Oslo. The only Norwegian city I know. And there's...
Stavanger.
What?
That's a Norwegian city.
Oh, cool. I've been educated again. I'm getting educated so much on this podcast lately. There's a man practicing... I thought it was a speech, but it turns out it's like a pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically, he's got this big pitch with his boss that he's about to do. He's been building up to
an
it
investor.
For years.
Yeah. Is coming in, and he's got the chance to pitch.
He's a businessman. Yeah. He's going to pitch.
Doing business.
And then one of his colleagues comes up and tells him that this weekend is also going to be his bachelor party.
Yeah, boy.
Because he's getting married.
He's not, this is Sebastian, is not excited about the prospects of this bachelor
He actually
party.
says, I'm not going. I can't go. It's too close to this deal.
I've got to seal this
deal. I've been working on it. I've got to go and seal this deal, and I can't think about bachelor parties at this point in my life. And then he goes to make his pitch. This is where we meet Casper for the first time. He plays Sebastian's boss.
No, he doesn't. He's
like not a boss, but like an
potential
investor. Potential boss. Yeah. And he gets bored halfway through this pitch meeting.
It's like, you've got no pizzazz.
Yeah, you've got no oomph. You need to be more
no
sexy.
Danger.
Yeah.
He's like, I sit through hundreds of these pitches.
Yeah. And he leaves. He just walks out and goes.
Slide one.
Yeah. Sebastian follows him. And he's like, look, I need you to be more forthright. I need you to be more forthcoming, more sexy.
He says, I want an experience.
I need an experience from these sorts of things. And so he says, come on my bachelor party.
Yeah.
It's going to be a heck of a weekend.
An experience for you.
Yeah. So he invites this potential investor onto his bachelor party. And he goes back to his mate and he says, look, this needs to be the best bachelor party anybody's ever had. And there's your premise for your movie, basically. Sebastian then goes home to his fiancée. She's in the midst of wedding planning.
Yeah.
She's nesting. And it turns out Sebastian's mum's dropped off some of his stuff from when he was a kid.
Yeah, you're getting married now. Here's your stuff.
Here's your stuff. Yeah, I don't want it in my house anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And it turns out when he was a kid, he was a world champion. Laser tagger.
Yeah, he won the laser tag World Cup.
Yeah,
with his partner.
Mikkel.
As a kid. But he no longer sees Mikkel.
He doesn't. His fiancée says, what happened to Mikkel? And he says, I don't know. He's probably still playing laser tag somewhere.
Yeah.
You can see a little flicker in her eye.
Yeah, and she's really happy that this stag party is happening.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, yes, you have got from some friends.
I feel like Sebastian's very much in love with his work more than anything else. And then he starts planning the fun. That's the sort of guy he is. He starts making a plan of the fun they're going to have. And then they all gather. The boys start to gather at a bar or a pub.
Yep, so there's Audun.
Yep.
Who is the work colleague.
Who we met earlier.
There's Pele.
Yep. Who also works with him.
Yeah, but he was like an Uber Eats guy,
he
wasn't he?
Seemed to be like a delivery driver, but also worked with him.
And then Seb, the stag.
The stag. So there's just three of them. Until a car pulls up and its number plate is Cock Rocket. Brilliant.
And this is Casper.
He's
and
like
he's got
guy from earlier.
Yeah, this investor guy. He's got this Uber electric car.
Super electric car.
Yeah, which like you never need to charge, and it looks a bit like Knight Rider.
It's got a flux repeater in it.
Yeah, whatever that is. They all go, oh, a flux repeater. And I'm like, is that supposed to mean something to me? Or is that a joke?
It's a flux capacitor joke, I think. But did you watch the dub or the subtitles?
Bit of both.
Yeah. I watched the dub.
I tried to watch the subtitles as much as possible, but I did have to flick over to keep up with the notes occasionally.
It's it's dialogue heavy, this movie, isn't it?
The only thing about this electric car,
I
didn't think it was very realistic because, as we all know what a Norwegian's favourite car is.
Do we?
Yeah.
Go on.
Fjord.
Second round of applause of the episode. Brilliant. You're on fire tonight. I've written here, this car has a flux repeater. This feels relevant for later. Because what else would they have told us?
Sure.
And for some reason, Casper's brought Sebastian a bear costume.
Yeah, you got to wear a...
You've got to wear a bear costume all weekend.
Yeah, because he's the stag.
'Cause
But I didn't... Was the joke lost?
Maybe.
Somewhere? I didn't understand why he was a bear,
Not me.
but fine.
Fine. He wears it for the
Worst
rest of the
things I've
movie.
seen stags dressed as.
Absolutely. Sebastian goes into the bar to get changed.
Into his bear costume.
When he comes back out, guess who's there?
It's Mikkel.
Mikkel is there. His childhood friend who used to be in a laser tag championship.
He's been invited by Sebastian's fiancée.
Yes. Well, she's contacted Arden and Arden's invited him, I think. And he's not happy about it. He's not against it, but he's also not seen this guy since they were kids. It's a bit weird. It's awkward. There's something has happened in the past between them as well. But they hit the road.
Instantly, Caspar takes a liking to Mikkel.
Yes, they become best friends straight away.
Seb off.
Yeah, they even travel together. Yeah. So they've taken 2 cars. So they're taking the Cock Rocket with Caspar and Mikkel, and then a clapped out old camper van that Pele owns with the other 3 of them. And they hit the road. And my next note says they pass some mysterious mulleted twins.
Yes, they do.
They pass a few different people. There's some people camping. There's a few
the
people
Norwegian version of redneck.
Yes,
I guess.
Absolutely.
They're off to Hestdalen.
Yes, they are. Where Alden's grandparents have a cottage. I think that's where they describe it as, or a cabin. As they drive past this campsite, we stick with a couple of the campers for a little while.
Yes,
and they get attacked by some green eyes.
Alien
who creatures
come out of the woods. One of whom is Stina, who was the
scientist
from the prologue.
Yes. So these are possessed. They're possessed by aliens, I think is how it's described.
Yeah, the aliens are like parasites, aren't they?
Yeah.
Basically, like energy parasites.
Yeah. Who overtake human brains and give us glowy eyes. When we cut back to the boys, they're now settled into their cabin. They're doing a quiz, which is all about Sebastian. They're on question 29, and everybody looks bored as fuck.
Yeah, no one knows anything about him.
No, nobody knows him. Yeah. Mikkel knows him as a kid, but has not known him growing up. So Mikkel's like, right, I'm going to get the party started. And Sebastian goes outside and has a cry.
Yeah.
At this point, which is strange. And Pele follows him out, and Pele's like the comedy...
Dumbass. Like nice but dim.
No, yeah. And he says to him, whenever I feel sad, I just think, beep boop.
Yeah.
And that cheers me up. Beep boop cheers me up. And it actually works. It's a good concept. And it works. It cheers Seb up and they go back in and rejoin the party. Then he has a bit of a one-on-one with Mikkel for the first time. They do a bit of reminiscing.
Yeah, and Mikkel's like, I bought this cool laser gun.
Yeah, he's got a brand new laser blaster from Japan.
And it properly looks like something out of Men in Black.
It does, cool. Yeah. It all lit up. It was great. It fired lasers across the garden. Yeah. Because he still plays. He still plays every week.
He's not grown up, this guy.
No, he's not. He's going to 12-year-old birthday parties and playing laser tag.
And Seb sort of says to him, look, I'm trying to impress Caspar.
Yeah.
They've got a lot riding on this. If we show him a good time, he might make this investment. Can you just tone it down?
Yeah, chill out.
Less you.
Tone it down. Yeah, exactly.
The focus needs to be on me.
Yeah.
And it's not working.
And it shows you they're being watched from a distance by the scientist lady from earlier on. And one of the rogue lasers hits her almost hits her on the foot, and she kind of jumps back.
It does, yeah.
So she's not happy with light.
And then for the rest of this movie, everyone in this stag party starts calling Seb Boner.
Yes.
Because I think there's a story about him getting an inappropriate boner when he was younger.
I assume so. We were never told the story.
So they just call him Boner or Boner Bear throughout the rest of this movie.
Yeah, we never got... The story was implied.
Yeah.
And Sebastian stopped Mikkel telling it at one point, but we never actually did get it told. Then a pregnant sheriff shows up.
Yes.
She is the sheriff of this little town.
Yes.
She shows up at the UFO tour shop.
Yeah, because, the local business is capitalising on this.
As it would. Why would it not?
Yeah, and basically, there's a cafe / diner / UFO merch
store. Exactly.
There's a nice little cabin in the woods.
Yep. But somebody's stolen the beer fridge.
Yeah.
They haven't stolen the beer. They've just stolen the fridge.
They've just stolen the white goods.
Yeah.
So the proprietor of this cafe is like, look, last month they stole some hoodies.
Yeah.
I don't know. They stole something electronic last month. Now the beer fridge is gone. What are you going to do about it?
She doesn't do anything about it, is what happens. But we do find out that this is her dad.
Yeah.
Who runs this store. They seem to not have the greatest relationship as a father-daughter. But yeah, it's her dad that runs this store. It's a small town. We cut back to the boys then. They're still stagging. It's the next morning. They're having breakfast. Alden has booked them a tour of the local observatory.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. And not only is it an observatory, he also says this is the place where all the mobile and telecommunications go through.
Yeah.
An observatory. Because why not?
No one wants to do this tour.
No, nobody does. Seb's worried it's nowhere near exciting enough for Casper.
Yeah.
So he takes Alden outside. He's like, look, we need to do something better than this. We can't do this. And randomly, he's holding a paintballing leaflet.
Yeah.
So they decide, let's go paintballing.
That's what we should do.
That's what stag dudes do. Why not?
You ever been paintballing?
Nope.
No.
Doesn't appeal.
It's all right.
Have you been?
I've done paintballing and laser tag.
I've never done either. How strange. I've never done laser tag. As a kid who grew up in the 90s, that's quite
Did you never even go to like Laser Quest indoors when that was a big
No.
thing? Oh, man. Are we too old now? Probably.
We're older than the people in this film who thought they were too old.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I'd have you back.
Maybe if it was just people of our age that went. Maybe that's what we could do as a bottom of the stream meetup.
Yeah.
Laser tag.
Fine.
No, I've never done it. Never done that or paintballing. I'm not even sure I've ever fired a weapon. What a weird thing to say.
Oh, you are a weapon. So,
I know.
I mean,
of course.
You've got that.
I feel like Time Crisis 2 and things like that.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah, that counts.
Sure.
Anyway,
You must have played Duck Hunt.
I have played Duck Hunt.
I had, way back in the day, that ridiculous fucking
The scope.
Nintendo scope thing.
Yeah, I had that as well.
What was that all about?
I had that not even way back in the day. I think I had that
You like
within the
rebought
last
it
15 years.
as a retro thing.
It might even still be in my mum and dad's loft.
I mean, that was a
Doesn't work now.
over-the-top peripheral.
Yeah, it really was. It was like a bazooka.
Yeah.
You can't use it now because the modern day TVs don't interact the same. So unless you've got a really old CRT TV. Anyway, when they go to leave to go paintballing, Casper's car's broken because Alden sabotaged it. It's taken one of the spark plugs. Does a spark plug need in an electric car? Don't know.
It is took a MacGuffin
It's took
out
something out of the car that stopped it working. So they all go off together in this camper van of Pele's. And then they all suit up, start playing paintballing.
Yeah, but they just, like, there's no one there.
No, it's just
and
the
no
five
one's
of them.
like, oh, who do we pay?
Yeah.
It's just like, well, here's the suits. Let's just have a game of paintball.
Do you think that's a budgetary thing to save on extras? Although there's a lot of
No,
extras
there's
in
loads
this
of
movie.
extras.
There's loads of extras.
It makes them seem like a bit.
It makes it look like they've
dickish.
just turned up somewhere
Yeah.
and started paintballing.
Well, which they did.
But they must have got their guns from somewhere.
Yeah, but they just went into like the office and geared up, didn't they? That was
Yeah, true. Okay. I hadn't noticed that, but that is weird now you've said it. Instantly, Casper gets shot.
yeah, and he like throws a temper
As soon as
tantrum.
it starts, he gets shot
Yeah.
straight away and he's out of the game.
Yeah.
Which,
Because remember,
he throws a temper tantrum.
Seb and Mikkel are really good at shooting things.
Yes. And Mikhail is the one that shoots him. But Seb's also pissed off that that's happened because he wanted Casper to have a good time. And now Casper's angry. So there's like, Seb says to Alden, no, it must have been Alden that shot him because Mikhail was on Casper's team.
Okay. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Seb said to Alden, right, if we can eliminate Mikhail, we can restart the game because that's the team. So they try and do that. And it's all kicking off. They're all shooting at each other.
Seb shoots someone
through a window.
Who he assumes is Mikkel, like sniping him.
Yeah.
But then Mikkel pops up from over yonder.
Yeah.
And Seb's like, oh shit.
Who did I just shoot?
Who did I shoot?
Yeah.
Because Mikkel's the only other person not on my team.
Yeah. Because Pele's decided he's not playing at all.
Yeah.
He's just sitting watching. So they go and investigate. They go into this building, which this guy was in. And it's one of those mulleted twins from earlier.
It is, yeah.
And they think he might be dead. They discuss whether he's dead for quite a long time.
They really do.
Even though they shot him with one paintball. But he is unconscious on the floor. He got shot in the head with it. However, he is not dead. This is soon quickly revealed when he gets up and attacks them all.
He does.
He even bites a chunk out of Pele's arm.
He does. Proper, like, zombie style.
Yeah, it really is zombie style.
Yeah.
And so Mikkel ends up pistol whipping him and knocking him out. And somebody says, "Oh, that's real zombie shit. Something's going down here." Is basically what's happening. Pelle's been bitten.
I think Auden gets hit, doesn't he?
Yeah,
by
he
the
does.
twin?
I think he gets knocked out. So they're like, right, well, we just need to leave. We need to get.
Yeah,
we need to get out of here because
something
this is
weird,
fucking weird. Something weird's going on. When they get back out to their camper van, someone's stolen the engine.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The whole engine has gone out of this camper van.
And also, so have all their phones.
So have all their phones, conveniently. So Casper's like, well, I need to get out of here. I've had enough of this. This is ridiculous. I'm not interested. I'm not having fun.
What the hell are you playing at? But I'm going home.
Unfortunately, I can't go home because I have no transport and I also now have no phone.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. So they think what we need to do is go somewhere where there's going to be people. So it's quicker to go to the observatory
Yeah, it's within a mile, they say.
than it is to go to the cabin where they live. It's quicker. So they go for a walk through the forest. And when they get to the observatory, it's deserted. There's nobody there. This whole town's almost like deserted. So they're like, let's go in, see if we can find a phone.
Call for help.
We'll call for help. So Mikhail and Seb go in. And the other three wait outside. And while they're in there, they're still arguing tit for tat at each other for a little bit.
Exactly.
While they're in there, a car pulls up outside, and the others try and warn them. Yeah, and it actually works. They make like a weird barking noise. I think.
It's the sound of a dying giraffe.
Mikhail spots them. Mikhail finds a phone, calls the sheriff, tells her everything that's happened so far during this day. And she thinks it's a prank call.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh yeah, aliens. You think
drama.
I've never heard that one before? Living here,
yeah,
whatever."
So she puts the phone down on them. The people who pulled up in the car were the other twin, the one that didn't get shot, and the scientist that we met earlier on, Stina.
So Mikhail and Seb decide they're going to hide in the basement.
In the basement
of
downstairs.
the observatory.
When they do get down there, something is thrown on top of them.
Yeah.
And it is a dead body.
It is. Yeah.
And when they look around, the basement is full of dead bodies. Loads of them. They make a noise. They accidentally make a noise. They're too noisy. So Mullet Man comes down to check what's going on. Seb has to play dead with a rat on his face. While Mikhail hides. But this guy's like, it's just a rat. It doesn't matter. It wasn't anything. And
then the aliens do this weird, like, mind-melding communication thing.
Yes.
Where all their eyes glow, and the mullet twin says, there was a group of guys at the paintball.
Yes, we need to find them.
Station.
Search the valley.
Yeah.
And that communicates out to everybody in the area who's been possessed by one of these aliens. Mikhail then goes back outside and tells everybody what he's seen in there.
Yeah. And Seb sells him down the river.
Seb throws him under the bus completely. He's like, none of that happened.
Yeah.
He's trying to be cool for Casper again.
And then Seb kind of accidentally agrees that, the basement was full of corpses.
Yes. That happens a little bit later on, doesn't it, as they're walking through the forest. Then they stumble across a broken down UFO tour bus.
Yes.
Which has come from this tour shop that we were in earlier. And they watch as it gets attacked by a load of these alien creatures. They all go inside, and then the whole bus starts lighting up green. And everybody sees it this time. So now everybody knows what's going on. All five of them now know what's going on.
They're all on the same page.
And
Pelle's now worried he's going to turn into an alien because he's been bitten.
Yes.
Because he's like getting his zombie rules
confused
with his alien rules.
As we all are.
Yeah.
In the next scene, they're completely surrounded by these alien things.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird edit, this one.
Yes.
Yeah, they're scared having seen this bus get taken over and possessed.
Yeah.
So they sort of run off into the woods, but they're suddenly, surrounded by
them.
Locals.
And one of them tries to talk to them, but they don't understand what it's saying. They don't understand its language.
It's Norwegian, but it's like not Norwegian.
Yeah.
So
it
just sounds like talking gibberish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which in the dub was a bit strange when they were like explaining that it was off Norwegian, but he was talking English. Yeah. It was strange. So one of them shoots it with a paintball.
The paintball guns are ineffective.
They are completely ineffective against aliens. But it does cause them all to attack. So the boys all run, the five of them all run.
But
they get split up.
Yes, I remember Mikhail has still got his laser tag gun on him.
He has still got his laser tag gun on him. That's helpful. Because Seb trips over. And originally all the aliens run straight past him because he's hiding in his bear costume. because he's like pulls it over his head so it looks like the ground. Maybe that was the joke that we missed.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway. But anyway, one does get him. One attacks him. It's fighting him. He can't fight it off. And then suddenly, Mikhail fires the laser gun at it, which causes a green blob of light to come out of this alien
Back of the
creature's head.
Possessed person's head, yeah.
That then, the green glob then tries to
get into Seb.
So Mikhail shoots the glob and then it explodes green goo all over Seb's face, which he never cleans off.
No.
For the rest of
He's wet for the rest of the movie. It never dries off, does it?
No, it's weird.
Goo.
Seb and then... Sorry.
I was just going to say, so our party's now split up. So Mikhail and Seb are together.
Yeah.
Caspar, Ardun and Palais
are together. Mikhail and Seb get to the sheriff's office where they meet... I didn't get the sheriff's name. She's just pregnant sheriff in my notes. Where they meet the heavily pregnant sheriff. And she still doesn't believe them. She thinks they're on drugs.
Yeah.
She thinks they're like crazy people. Because they try and tell her everything that's going on. And eventually she locks them up in a cell.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to have to wait for my colleague.
Yeah, we need.
Do you
I
want
can't do this.
Let me make you a hot chocolate.
Yeah.
I'll put you in a cell.
Yeah, she tricks them into a cell. Seb and Mikhail then have a huge argument whilst they're locked in this cell. Basically, one of them says, Seb says, "I grew up, you didn't," and then Mikhail calls him a grumpy fart, which I really liked as an insult. Also, I observed in the background of this scene, it says "fuck the police" in English on the wall.
It does, yeah, in the cell. Yeah,
but
I noticed that.
Strange thing to put in a Norwegian movie. And Mikhail says, "Your girlfriend begged me to come because you've got no friends."
Yeah.
Didn't go down very well with Seb. They basically fall out of each other. When the pregnant sheriff lets them out of the cell, one of the twins, the mullet twins, is there. And the other cop's there.
Yeah, the deputy.
So Mikhail...
Both acting like proper humans.
But Mikhail's got this laser gun, which is ineffective against a human, but will kill an alien.
Exactly.
So he shoots the cop, who goes down.
Yeah.
As he's altered the settings, so the green blob doesn't come out.
Yeah.
It just shoots and kills in one shot. Which takes the sheriff off guard, knocks her off guard completely. And then they capture the mullet man. They tie him up and handcuff him to the chair. And he basically, the mullet man basically explains to them what's happening, because he says the light is a signal from an intergalactic light pulse. And if you want some explanation in this movie, that's all you're getting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally the one line of explanation you get. The sheriff then gets on the phone. I really like this exchange. So Seb says to her, "Who are you calling?" She says, "I'm calling the police." Mikhail says, "You are the police," and she says, "I'm calling bigger police."
Yeah.
Which I thought that was really
I
funny.
like the sheriff character.
She was great.
Yeah.
She reminded me of Natasha Lyonne a lot.
Yes.
Don't you think she was
Crazy
just
hair
like a crazy
yeah.
hair, really similar acting style? While they've got their backs turned, while she's calling the bigger police, the mullet man who's tied to the chair sends out a call to action. His eyes start glowing again.
Yeah, it's basically all the aliens are activated to battle stations.
Because he overhears Seb and Mikhail talking about the observatory.
So they know about all the bodies.
Exactly. So the mullet man's call to action is blow up the observatory, which then blows up.
Yeah. And that also knocks out all the communications.
It does, because all the communications go through the observatory. We found this out earlier in the movie. Mikhail then's like, "I've had enough of this guy," and shoots the mullet man. Yeah. He's done.
The deputy cop comes around.
Yes.
So he's fine. He's like, "Oh, shit, what happened? I can't remember anything for the last however many hours."
Yeah,
so
I
was possessed by an alien.
It appears that the laser gun kills the alien but leaves the human alive.
Yeah.
So the alien is now gone out of this cop's body. So the cop then reveals how he got caught, and he said, basically, "I'm at the edge of town and they're grabbing everybody. Everybody is leaving, coming in or out of the valley. Everybody's getting aliened."
Because they're everywhere.
Yeah, there's loads of them. The other three are now in the back of a van. Doesn't really explain how they got there.
Yeah, they've been surrounded in the woods. They've been captured and they're being taken somewhere.
They're being taken somewhere in a van.
We come back to the police station and Mikhail says to Seb, "I've not mentioned this before, but back in the car or the truck, I've got a load of laser tag equipment. Got guns, vests. They might be useful now."
They absolutely will be. So they come up with a plan between them two and the cops.
Yeah.
So basically, they're going to head over to the UFO tour shop, which is owned by the sheriff's
Yeah.
dad.
Hold up. It's a secure base for them.
It should be a secure base for them. It's got like security gates and everything like that.
Yeah. Roller shutters.
So the cops are going to hold up in there.
Yeah.
While the two civilians go out and
try and rescue
the world.
Yeah. She is heavily pregnant.
She is heavily pregnant, and the other cop has been attacked already. So Seb and Mikhail leave in the cop car to go and try and find their friends and to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
They go. First place they head is back to the paintball arena or whatever that place was, because that's where their van is, which has got all this equipment in.
Correct.
But when they get there, it's surrounded by alien creature, human people. So Mikhail says, right, you run to the van, I'll cause a distraction, which causes a little bit of an argument between them again, but that's what they decide to do.
I quite liked the running joke through this movie, and it's got a good payoff at the end, is how loud these two are, because they're always bickering. They can't do anything
quietly. They can't
quietly.
sneak up on anybody.
And even Seb here, when he's supposed to be sneaking up to get this bag out of the van, he's so loud, tripping over everything, and it was a nice running gag.
Yeah, it is a nice running gag. When Seb gets... So Mikhail turns the lights and the sounds on in the cop car, which causes this... And that's the word. Which causes a distraction for Seb. Fucking hell. Causes the distraction for Seb to get back to the van to get the bag of stuff. Unfortunately, the bag of stuff isn't in the van when he gets there. He does find it, though, in the back of a pickup that the aliens have obviously already collected.
But he can't sort of free the guns from the bag, and he's suddenly surrounded by aliens
by them again.
Until Mikhail sort of comes to the rescue and by sort of swerving the car and basically running these people over. He runs
two aliens over.
Now, isn't that killing people?
Yes, which is Seb says to him.
Yeah.
You can't just kill people. These are humans.
Yeah. And Mikhail's just like, oh well.
I've done it now. And then Seb gets the gun out of the bag, shoots the two aliens, which manages to save the people. And then we get a really cool...
I mean, they were hit very hard by a car.
They were fine.
I suppose we can let it go.
Then we get a really cool shootout scene. So basically...
Well, they suit up first.
They do. They suit out them into their Japanese laser tag, unreleased in the US, prototype laser gear.
And they even kind of tried to read the instructions, and it's been noted, do not touch the lights out button on the vest.
Yes.
And Mikhail says, why? Seb says, just points at the instructions.
Yeah.
Like the leaflet, and Mikhail's like, oh, right. But we never see it.
No. So there's a button on the vest that they're not allowed to touch. And they're basically now in this paintball arena, being surrounded by hundreds of alien creatures with these laser guns. And there's a really cool shootout. It's really nice. It goes on for ages. They use their special move that they used to have when they were kids, which is a direct rip-off of Shaun of the Dead, because they're like 10 to 3, 7:15, that sort of thing.
And the loads of this is, you can see Edgar Wright's fingerprint.
This is the guy who I said should have had a thank you at the beginning. This is the director I was thinking of.
Because...
We'll come to it at the end, but...
It's got all those sort of flash cuts, of, that famous Edgar Wright doing an everyday task, but dramatically cut.
I've got comments on this at the end. We'll come to that at the end. While the shootout's going on, Seb accidentally shoots Mikhail, which lights up a light on his chest, but also disables his gun.
Yeah, for a few seconds.
They've got to try and not shoot at each other whilst they're doing this. They use their special move. They name the aliens glowies. They're not zombies, they're glowies because they've got glowy eyes.
Sure. And they're just basically alien killing machines.
Yeah.
They get cornered in a barn, don't they? But they kind of shoot their way out of that as well.
Yeah, and then...
It's probably the best scene in...
It's the best action scene in the movie.
It's the best action scene in the movie, definitely.
And it culminates with them both their guns get disabled, and Mikhail finds something on his shoulder on this vest.
Yeah.
It's like a little, almost like a...
Grenade.
Well, it is a grenade, that's not what I was going to say, but yeah. So he throws it. He doesn't know what it is when he grabs it off his shoulder, but he's guessing. And he throws it, and when it lands, a flash of light hits out.
Which is useful, because the people who just turn up in the barn, the aliens, this time have actual guns.
Actual guns. They're shooting with actual shotguns, which freaks them out. But it does. It takes everything out. Everybody that was left alive is taken out by this grenade. And then they come up with nicknames for each other.
Yeah. I mean, this is right down my street.
I knew you'd love this.
Yeah.
I love this. It's great. Do you want to know? Do you want to say what their nicknames for each other were?
You go for it.
So they call each other Pew Jackman
Yeah.
and Sean Beam.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I had to rewind it because I didn't catch the first one.
No complaints from me.
When he says Pew Jackman, I didn't catch it because I was like, it sounds too much like Hugh, but it was funny. Then they do a victory dance. They've basically won this.
They've got like
battle.
a secret handshake,
Yeah.
which presumably they've not done
These
since they
two
were
are
kids.
full on back as best friends now. We find out that the other three have been taken to a cave.
Yeah, in the old mine from
the cave where we were
prologue.
earlier, which is full of kitchen appliances.
There are many white goods. Yeah.
Fridges, washing machines, dishwashers, all sorts in there. Casper's car is also in there.
The cock rocket's been hauled in there.
It's been hauled in there because that's got this massive battery in. Basically, these aliens are gathering energy, is what they're trying to do. The sheriff gets through to the bigger police, but they won't help him because it's basically the same scene as when she turned the other guys down. They turn her down for being a crackpot. Then she shouts at her dad, and it's revealed by the other cop that her dad only has a shortwave radio, and he only has that so he can keep track of her, which makes her love her dad again.
And suddenly, the UFO tour bus from earlier pulls up outside, and the shopkeeper says, "Oh, these guys should have been here hours ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what's been happening." And obviously, they all sort of shamble out of this bus.
Yeah,
they're now possessed aliens. This is like a school trip.
Yes, it is.
So they're approaching the safe house.
Yeah, and so pregnant sheriff says to her dad, "Get that shutter down. That shutter down that you brought."
Don't know why they haven't done it earlier.
No, not me. And then as soon as he turns the key in the shutter, the power blows in the shop. The whole fuse box explodes. He goes to the back whilst these aliens are still coming towards them. He does manage to get the power back on, which I thought, oh, this is really cool now. The barrier's going to come down. And they turn the key for the barrier and the whole thing just falls off the roof. Yeah. And again, it really made me laugh.
And then the movie cuts to an external shot looking into the shop and the sheriff just screams and it was funny.
It was funny.
It was really funny.
Because it felt like...
Got a laugh out of me.
They did me as well because it was like, we've done this thing's not working. Let's turn the power back on, then it'll work. But it just didn't work the second time.
Somehow an alien's got into the back of the shop and turned the dad, the shopkeep, into a possessed alien person.
Indeed. Then we cut back to the cave, where the other three guys, Casper, Pele, and Alden, see another dude get turned into a glowy. So there's basically this like laser shooter gun thing in there that's turning people into these aliens.
And Stina says, "You are next."
To Casper. Yeah. Casper's next. They hook up his engine from his car to their machine, and it nearly gives them enough power that they need just on its own.
To do whatever they're doing.
Yeah, so Casper says, "Look,
I can get you 20 of these.
However many of these you want. Don't save my life. Let us go."
Yeah, he cuts a deal with the aliens.
Yeah, he says, if you let us go, I'll get you these batteries.
Yeah.
She's against that, but then he says, "Okay, well, keep those two, but let me go."
Yeah.
He has no relationship with those other two. Mikkel and Seb are also there now. They've snuck in.
Yeah, they're hiding behind some rocks.
Yeah. She agrees to this deal. This alien agrees to this deal.
And Seb and Mikkel are arguing because one of them says, "Well, he's got a plan. He's going to get everyone out of it. It's just a distraction." And the other one just says, "No, he's just looking out for himself."
Yeah. And then, is that where the point where they get caught?
Yeah.
Because they're talking so loud to each other that while they're hiding, they're talking at the same volume me and you are talking now, and the aliens just take their weapons off them and like find them straight away.
They're like,
it's a great
they
payoff.
just say you're too loud.
You're too loud. You guys. Well, I think one of the aliens says, "You guys are so loud."
Yeah.
It's funny. Alden then gets blasted.
Yeah.
He then gets blasted and turned into an alien, which, much to Seb's disgust, he's not happy at all that this is happening. We cut back to the shop. Sheriff's waters break just as the aliens are about to get through the door.
Yeah, they're holding the door shut.
This is like the worst possible time to go into labour.
Her dad attacks her from out the back of the shop.
Yeah.
So she has to fight him and basically takes him down with a sort of glow stick. One of these.
I've written toy lightsaber.
Yeah.
I think is what it was.
Yeah.
She uses the zapper, the barcode reader from the till to start with, which is funny. And then she takes him out with a toy lightsaber. And eventually the door does get broken down and all these aliens get in.
And I know it's a budgetary thing, so I understand it. But like, we leave the sheriff and their deputy about to face down this horde of aliens.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
I was really looking forward to seeing that battle.
They're just about they're just about to go on the attack, and the scene cuts away. Then Mikhail and Seb find this is the best time to have their heart-to-heart that was always coming through this movie.
Yeah, Mikhail admits he's never grown up.
Yeah,
but says he misses Seb.
You just disappeared from my life. And Seb said, I wanted to be seen as well. As if like Mikhail was the most famous one of the two of them in those circles. And they're getting upset. They're crying with each other. And Pele just comes, his face just comes in the side of the screen and he goes, beep boop.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought that was a really good scene. And then suddenly Seb has a plan. It just comes to him in a flash of inspiration. Casper offers Seb a job, basically, and says, come work for me.
Seb threatens to blow Casper's cover by saying, basically, I know you've only got one of these. Yeah, you told us earlier you was only one of these. You haven't got more batteries to get. And Casper shushes him and says, look, if you play along with me, we'll get out of here. I'll give you a job.
Yeah.
So Seb says, yeah, fine. But it was just a ruse for him to get closer to the battery from the car.
Because he's still got his grenade thing from his suit.
I thought it was the flux thing from earlier.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought he took that thing off his shoulder and put it on.
Oh, maybe. I thought he got the actual bit out of the car from earlier when they disabled it.
Oh, yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that bit.
Anyway.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Regardless.
But anyway, he activates this battery and the whole battery kicks into life. And suddenly the whole cave lights up.
Supercharges this machinery.
Yeah, everything lights up. All the equipment kicks off. A door opens. A sliding shutter door opens.
Yeah.
And what should amble in?
King Alien. A huge, bulbous, gloopy, green, tentacly, 100 eyes. I thought it was pretty good CGI.
It was, considering what the budget for this movie must have been.
And all the aliens / possessed humans bow to it.
Yeah, they all kind of kneel down on the floor to it.
And they say, we're going home.
Yeah.
I presume because they've now got enough power to launch their spaceship.
Yes, absolutely. That is what's happened. Pele shoots it with a paintball, which was quite funny.
Gets brave.
Yeah, and then he runs off, and all the aliens run after him, apart from two. So basically, we're left in this room now with Mikhail and Seb, two aliens, and this huge, great, big, globby alien thing. The two aliens that are left are Alden and the scientist lady.
Yeah.
And then, remember that button on the vest that they weren't supposed to press?
Oh, yeah, the do not press one.
The do not press button. Seb's like, fuck it, I'm going to press that button.
See what happens.
He presses the button. The whole vest lights up like crazy, and everybody in the room dies.
Huge flash, it knocks all the aliens out.
Even the big glowy, orby, globby one.
Yeah.
They all go down. But then that one gets back up again.
Yeah. Auden calls it... Auden, who's now been rescued from his...
Yeah, he's not an alien anymore.
Zombie state. Calls it Flubber.
He does.
He's like... And he starts shooting it because he's picked up one of the
laser guns. He starts shooting at it whilst causing the others to escape. Mikhail and Seb do a run.
And he won't come with them.
He won't. He's like, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to be the hero.
Yeah.
And he does. Those two manage to dive out of the cave just as it all starts kicking off.
Well, at first you think that the mine is caving in, but actually what's happening is the spaceship is launching.
So it is a typical alien UFO shape. It is a saucer. It's a flying saucer with a beam of green light coming out the bottom. And it bursts out through the forest. Yeah. Again, another cool little CGI scene. It was really cool. It worked really well. And it kind of just hovers there above the forest for a little while. Casper's also still on the ship, though.
Yeah.
I'd completely forgotten about this guy. And then we cut back to the shop. And
Casper gets glooped, doesn't he? So I presume he gets aliened.
Yeah. I don't think we see him again, actually.
No, I don't think we do.
But then we go back to the shop, and it's now the aftermath of this big battle that we've missed.
Yeah.
And
they're all covered in goo.
Yeah. She's still in labour, apparently.
They fought everyone off.
I really liked that she was still holding this toy lightsaber, but it was all bent and wobbly. As if it implies that she took out all of these aliens with a toy lightsaber, which I love. I think that's brilliant.
And the sheriff says to her dad, can you be my dad again now?
Yeah, can you drive me to the hospital, please?
Please, can we get to hospital?
I'm having a baby. So that's the last we see of them. Seb and Mikhail then sit on the side of the road and watch the ship fly off into the night. And then it's 3 months later.
No, they find Pele.
Oh, they do find Pele.
He stumbles across them in the woods.
He does, yeah. And then the film cuts to 3 months later. And it's the wedding day, Seb's wedding day.
Only a bloody laser tag wedding, isn't it?
Of course it's a laser tag wedding. Why would it not be? It's basically him and his wife now, I guess, running through this big house, laser tagging with loads of kids. And it turns out that they've started a laser tag business.
Yeah.
Mikkel
It's
and
like
Seb.
a mobile laser tag equipment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Parties, weddings.
Yeah. And the film ends with them drinking a toast to a mannequin dressed as Alden.
Yeah.
And that's the end of your movie until your mid-credit scene, I guess you'd call it.
I think so, yeah.
Which puts us back on the ship. I remembered to not stop the film at this point this time. I'm proud of
Stina wakes up.
Yep.
She comes around.
She's a human again.
Yeah. But she's on an alien spaceship.
She is with Alden. And Alden tells her what's happened.
He's now a
fills her in.
badass alien
Of course
killer.
he is.
He's like Bruce Willis in Die Hard,
Yeah.
but with a laser tag vest on.
And he hands her a laser tag gun and he says, it's time to kill.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends.
Yeah, and then so you think he's like a badass action star, but then he's like, what I mean is, we're going to the aliens' home, and he starts stumbling over his words, so he's still a nerd.
Alden.
He's quite sweet.
Still a nerd. Yeah, and that's how your movie ends. What did you think, Nick?
Overall, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I did think it was really fun. It didn't drag.
No.
I mean, I do have some issues.
Go on.
But I think they're mostly like, I thought there was going to be more battling and more action. But I think it's mostly a budgetary issue.
I agree. I think it is mostly. And I think it takes a little bit too long to get going.
Yeah.
But I have no issue with the time. It's nearly 2 hours.
There's basically only one big... The climactic scene was not as good as the battle in the paintball park.
Yes.
In the middle of the film. And...
Yeah, it felt a bit
was geared up
lopsided,
to like another, great, we're going to have a great action scene at the end, and it never really happened.
No, we just got this flash of light and
Which I
everything
guess
died.
because they couldn't afford to do it.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's the same reason why we couldn't see the battle in the UFO store.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see that because I liked the sheriff character and the deputy and her dad, and I would have really liked to have seen them
more of
do
them.
battle with the
I'd agree with
the
that.
aliens.
But overall, this is a fun time.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think it's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
4.8 on IMDb is really low.
Too low, way too low.
Way too low,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's really harsh.
This I feel like this should be up in the 6s somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't even
On
really. I can't
balance.
even really explain to you why it's so low.
I can only see it being because it's not been watched that much, but
maybe. But
yeah,
the people that are watching it are rating it
It's
low.
a really harsh rating.
I agree. I think it's one of the better films we've seen.
It's
this
funny.
season. It's fun. It doesn't drag.
It's fun. It's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. There's bits of it that really made me laugh.
Yeah.
Like proper made me laugh, which is unusual for me.
Yeah.
And it is nearly 2 hours long, and I have no issue with that. I think I wouldn't even cut much of it out. I don't think. Maybe cut 10. You could probably cut 10 minutes if you wanted to, but
Yeah, I think overall the pace was fine.
yeah, I
I
agree.
didn't feel like it dragged. I liked we got enough to build the main group of characters so we actually cared about them.
Yeah, you've 5 main characters in this movie, and then you've got 3 or 4, maybe 5 like auxiliary characters as well. There's a lot of cast in this movie.
I just want my cake and eat it, and I wanted more laser battles.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just did need a bit more blasting and blasted. But you can't have everything.
I mean, are you going to mention this? This is the movie that The World's End should have been.
There is an elephant in the room that you probably
Yeah.
need to talk about in the fact that this is basically a Norwegian remake of The World's End.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same movie.
Just without the pop
Only this
quiz.
one's good because The World's End is not a good movie. But this might as well be a homage to Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
This
100%.
is this director is obviously
I
inspired
like
by
to think
Edgar
the
Wright.
director was. I loved Shaun of the Dead. I
Yeah.
loved Hot Fuzz because they're both great movies.
Yeah.
Everyone was really excited about The World's End.
And
This
then it was a
director,
damn
along with us and a million other people, went, oh, that's not as good as it should have been.
I'm going to do it better.
I can make that better.
And he successfully has made a better movie. This is a better movie than The World's End.
Yeah.
There are bits in it from Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead as well. There's that scene where the battle scene where they're doing the 10 to 3, quarter to 7.
Spaced. That was in Spaced.
Oh, was that Spaced?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure
So
it
he's
was.
definitely an Edgar Wright fan,
Yeah.
this guy. His directing style is exactly the same as Edgar Wright. He's got loads of the quick cuts and lots of flashes, and it's a buddy comedy. It might as well have been made by Edgar Wright. It's a homage to him.
Yeah.
And it is a remake of The World's End. But is that a bad thing when
It's better. No, because it's better.
Because it's a better movie.
It's better. It's funny. I'd argue it's funnier. It's
I'd
more
agree.
interesting. It looks nicer. That was a real disappointing movie.
It really was. We went to the cinema together to watch that, and it was bad. Have you ever seen it since? I think I've watched it once.
Maybe once, and it was still rubbish.
Yeah. We did. We watched it in a hotel room together.
I think we did. Yeah,
we did.
For that. Oh, that's on. It can't be as bad as we remember.
We've watched it twice together, and we both hated it both times. Yeah, you can't argue with the fact that this has got Edgar Wright's fingerprints all over it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing.
If this movie had the budget of that movie,
yeah, can you imagine?
You would have had a proper good movie. Whereas as it stands, we've got a good. I'd say this is a good movie.
It's a hidden gem.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about it?
I just think it looks good. I think it's the direct.
It's the Edgar Wrightness of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is the direction.
It's the direction.
But it's also the setting because we're in these huge forests.
Yeah.
You know, the sort of abandoned paintball village. It's just the whole thing. It looks good. The observatory. It's memorable locations. It's well directed. It's snappy. It's slick. I just think it's one of the better directed movies we've seen for a while.
What would you change about it?
Give it more money. I want more action scenes.
You need that.
It needs two more action, significant action scenes.
Yeah, you need that scene of them in the shop.
Yeah,
and you do. Need
I would beef
up
the finale in the mind.
You do need a slightly better finale. I'd agree with that. Shall we talk Stream Table?
Yeah.
Penultimate film going into the Stream Table this season. We're about to pick the season 8 finale in a moment. Where am I reading from?
I think it's top 10.
I'll read you the top 10 then. Currently at number 10 is You Are Not My Mother. Number 9 is The Giver. Number 8 is Double World. Number 7 is The Legacy of a White-tailed Deer Hunter. Number 6 is Headshot. Number 5 is Below Zero. Number 4 is A Futile and Stupid Gesture, last week's movie. Number 3 is Nature Reborn. Number 2 is Old People. And number 1 is The Decline. Where does this one go, Nick?
I think this one gets into the top 5 for me.
Okay.
I think it gets into 5th. I don't think it's as good as last week's movie.
I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
I had a place where I wanted it to go.
Okay.
And it was 5th.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how about that?
I'm completely with you. I think it isn't as good as last week's movie. And it is better than Below Zero.
Yeah.
But it's simple.
I think it's a really clear, actually quite a clear spot.
Yeah.
5th. And that's a good result. And, the last couple of weeks, we've had two really
good movies.
Yeah.
It's a decent top 5 we've got there now with The Decline, Old People, Nature Reborn, A Futile and Stupid Gesture, and now Blasted.
Yeah.
One more film left to go.
One more week for The Decline to see if it can hold on.
Can it hold on?
Yeah.
Shall we call Robin out for the last time this season?
Let's do
it. What sort of thing do you want for a season finale?
I think we want something memorable. It's season finale. I want to go out with a bang, whether that's a good movie or an absolutely terrible movie.
Either way is going to be good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. Right, shall we press the button? Are you ready?
Yes.
It has picked a movie called Hangman.
Okay.
Any ideas what Hangman is?
I have no idea what Hangman is at all.
Oh, okay. This is a season finale movie for sure. Hangman is from 2017. It's a 15. It's described on IMDb as a crime drama mystery thriller.
Okay.
Do you want a synopsis?
Yes, please.
A homicide detective brings his partner out of retirement to help catch a serial killer whose crimes are based on the children's game Hangman.
Oh, fantastic.
Do you want to know who is in this movie, Nick?
Yeah, always.
Al Pacino.
No way.
Is in this movie. And Carl Urban.
I like Carl Urban.
Al Pacino and Carl Urban are in this movie. I don't think Robin could have picked as a better season finale there. Do you?
I mean, Al Pacino is quite the name to
Al Pacino
suddenly pop up in bottom of the stream. Okay,
might be a late Oscar grab for Al Pacino, Botska grab for Al Pacino. Drowning in the stream or not, we'll find out.
I don't know. It's been a few years since Al Pacino's.
Yeah, but he's Al Pacino.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe, but he's still one of the most famous names in the world. Anyway, so yeah, go out and watch Hangman because we're going to, and we'll be back this time next week for the bottom of the stream season finale. And in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On our website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables, loads of other cool stuff, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
laser tag sets.
Absolutely, why not? After you've done all that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. On there, for a couple of quid every month, you will get early access to episodes. You'll get bonus episodes. You'll get a newsletter that Nick writes every month. And if you're coming at the top level, you will get a wild card, which means you can try and pick the best movie of the season. And you might win a prize if you do. And then after you've done all of that, head over to Discord. The Discord is a group of fun, movie-loving people who will talk to you about anything. We have a great time in there. We've got some great plans for the Discord going forward. So come and join us. The Discord link will be in the bottom of the show notes.
If you can spare us a few minutes, please consider leaving us a review anywhere you can review or rate podcasts, because it really helps get our little show in the eyes and ears of more people. You can do that on any place that you can review or rate podcasts, like Podbean, Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and
Listen Notes.
Listen Notes
is the newest one.
Where we have just joined.
We have.
Who you spoke to.
I did. They've released that episode, that interview that I did. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Did you read it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I didn't say well done, but
well, thank you for reading it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yes, you did a very nice interview with Listen Notes.
I did indeed. I enjoyed myself.
So go and check that out.
So go and check all that out. The link for that will be somewhere in our
It was
Twitter
very
history.
wise.
I am a very wise man.
Good advice for any up-and-coming podcasters, I would say.
I've been podcasting for 4 years now. I know my shit, man.
Absolute veteran.
I tell you what, Listen Notes does tell you. I don't know if I've told you this or not. We are now in the top 5% of oldest podcasts.
Amazing.
Because podcasts don't last this long.
No.
Well, we do.
57 minutes.
No, 4 years.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, we're in the top 5% of the oldest podcasts now.
Wow.
That's crazy. Listen Notes told me that. So yeah, go and check that out. That's mental.
Great stat.
Do all of that. Go out and watch Hangman.
Yeah.
And we'll be back on Monday for a season finale wave and Thursday for a season finale movie show.
Cheers.
Bye.